Hello, and welcome to Move with Soul, the podcast where we talk about how connecting with your physical body helps you navigate life and brings you back to the truth of who you are. This is probably the most important episodes by far so far. I'm going to talk about what the hell embodiment even means. Back in the day, every time I would hear the word embodiment or somatic healing, somatic work, whatever, I really had not a clue what it really meant, but I was always very intrigued and very drawn to it. Any workshop or class or article that I could get my hands on, I would read about it and learn about it. And what I read or learned always resonated, but I was still unclear on what embodiment really means or what it looks like or feels like to do this work or have this practice. So I'm trusting that there's others out there just like me, maybe listening to this episode, who feel drawn to it and feel like it's important but unsure how to actually use it in your daily life to improve your overall energy and bring you back to yourself. And I'm going to be real with you, I don't even really love the word embodiment. It's kind of turned into this buzzword that's often associated with some beautiful, floaty woman dancing on a beach, rolling her neck around and circling her hips, and that certainly is embodiment. It can be embodiment, but it's definitely not all that it is. Now, to the basics, what does it even mean? Well, the word embodied translates to being in your body. As simple as that, right? So sometimes it's easier to think about the opposite of that because that seems pretty simple. Like, obviously, we are in our bodies, right here. I'm sitting talking to you in my body. But think about the energy behind it. So I'll give you an example. When you're really stressed out about some future thing happening that you're thinking about, and maybe your wheels are constantly turning, and you're just a bit like, oh, is going to happen. I don't know. There's that little bit of disconnect between your mind and your emotions, right? Because your emotions are being projected onto that future possibility or that future worry and your physical body and what's actually present right here, right now. So that is a little bit being disembodied, or even thinking about the past, or you're just going through the motions. You're not really here present with your 2 feet on the ground. Maybe you're just taking one thing at a time. You're not really focused on what is actually happening in your body. In my experience, it's because I'm too much in my head. And it makes sense why I was drawn to this work, right? So, if being embodied means being present in your body, well, why is it important? Why is it helpful to do this work or have these types of practices? I'll speak to my own experience and that of my clients that I work with. Is that when we have that space to see what is actually true for us, what is real for us, how our body is reacting to these thoughts or reacting to our environment or this person or whatever, we're able to gain these really, really, really deep internal wisdom clues as to what's actually correct for us and what isn't. Because we can think logically about things, but then our bodies sometimes they have something else to say. And the more that we have this practice of listening to what our body is saying, the more we end up making decisions that are actually in alignment for us, not based on what we think or off of some future worry or of something you read or heard from, let's say, a parent when you were younger and you just adopted it as truth. No, being embodied helps you find your own truth. It also helps us see what emotions are running in the background of our lives while we're off thinking about 1,000 different things. What emotions are present for us? Because those emotions, what they end up doing is they end up dictating our life choices and the way that we feel about ourselves and others and the world around us. And we get to see, okay, like, is this really true for me? Like, for example, in a session, one might realize they have a lot of sadness in and around their heart. So when they bring up this specific scenario, or let's say they're desiring to go teach a yoga class, but then they have all this sadness in their heart and their heart is all rounded. Embodiment work or having an embodiment practice can help you see that that's even there and then help you move through the emotions. So, because we have these emotions that are stored in our body, right? We've heard this before. But embodiment, or the work of embodiment, helps us see what's there and helps us move it through our bodies, move it out and around so it doesn't have that power over us if we were to just constantly be on the go, living in the future or maybe even in the past. Does that make sense? So, yes, your embodiment practice might look like dancing around on a beautiful beach in a white dress, but it might also look like just sitting alone in your room and touching your shoulders or your heart or your belly. It might look like punching a pillow. It might look like taking a walk or just standing with your feet on the ground. You see, it doesn't matter how you do it because essentially you're letting your body lead, right? You're paying attention to your somatic cues. What does your body want to do right now? Does it want to shake? Does it want to stretch? Does it want to strengthen? Does it want to be still or cuddled or whatever? It doesn't matter the how. It just matters that you're tuning in, you're seeing what's present for you, and you're leaning into that space versus intellectualizing it, thinking about why it's there or what happened. No, you are just simply being embodied, being in your body, and observing what emotions are present, what sensations are present, and that's taking it from there. And I'm also going to be real with you. It might take some time. It might take some time to understand your body's messages or the things that are present for you. And that's the beauty of having a practice or a regular practice that you go to, you show up for without the expectations that you're going to find these answers. No, you're just devoting the time and space and energy to connect with your body. Some of the ways that I like to show up for my embodiment practice is through yoga, Ashtanga yoga, putting on a song and just letting my body move in the way that it wants to, going for a walk, just paying attention to my feet, going right, left, right, left. There's so many ways. Even toning, where you just let out whatever sound comes out, or screaming if I feel like there's a lot of emotion behind whatever's going on, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be fancy. It doesn't have to be pretty in order for it to be very, very powerful. So ultimately, if I had to explain what embodiment is in a sentence, or really what it's how it supports energetically, I would say that it is the practice of being truly present in your body in order to live a life that is in the most alignment with yourself, beyond the mental stories, beyond your past conditioning, and helping you walk your path, your dharma, your purpose, why you are really truly here in a way that is the most authentic to you. Now, if this brings up any questions, let's continue the conversation. Please reach out to me or comment on this episode and let's talk, because that's how we gain the most clarity, right? Being in a dialogue, being in a discussion. And if you want to give this a try, I'm so excited to be releasing an embodiment practice that I made. It has two versions. So one version is to music, it's a little bit condensed. And there's another version that's more of just like a moving meditation where you can either put on your own music or just follow along to the words. So you can start to deepen this relationship with your body so you can start gaining the access to your most profound internal guidance system, your inner wisdom. It's super fun. I really like how it turned out. So if you want access to that, it's free. I really just want to make this as most available to as many people as possible. So check it out in the link below to sign up and have it sent straight to your inbox. And thank you so much for listening. And I cannot wait to move with you soon.